everybody, and welcome to Lemme Finish. 2 men, 1 story, 1 million interruptions. Thank you for joining us once again. I am Jason Harding.
And I am Atticus.
And if you're unfamiliar with what this show is all about, Atticus tries to tell a story. He has a half an hour to complete his story, and I have a half an hour to prevent him from finishing. If at any point during Atticus's story you hear this bell, that means that Atticus is an abject failure and that he has lost the challenge, and that I have won. Last week, he lost the challenge. Will he succeed this week? I don't know, but what I do know is that he has a story to tell. Get the bell ready and get set for story time.
So at this point, we're going to rewind 8 years. My wife is 9 months pregnant. Not 9 full months, 9 months. So you know that she has another 4 weeks to go.
So she's 8 months pregnant.
No, it's 10 full months. It's 9 full months that you are pregnant. So technically it's 10 months if you think about it.
What? No, because it's 9, because there's trimesters.
Yes, I know, but it's 40 weeks.
No, wait, I don't know the math behind this.
Women are pregnant for 40 weeks, just so you know. Okay, so she's 36 weeks pregnant.
Okay.
And I am a driver for a company in...
Bumsburg. You're a driver in Bumsburg.
I am a contract courier. I deliver payrolls for this company.
Someone gives you money?
They give me...
And you deliver it?
It was paycheck stubs at this point. Nobody got... No. Well, sometimes I would deliver live checks and get extra money for it.
So you're not working at the funeral home,
funeral home.
You're not working at the rest home or whatever it was, the convalescence care, the hoist place.
No. She and I are already married at this point. We are settled in. We have a very nice apartment, and I make a lot of money doing this job.
Really?
Yes.
Carrying checks around, they pay you a lot?
And I had a specific route where I would pick up from them and then deliver to the Framingham, Natick area of Massachusetts.
If you were working for the mob, you can just say it. Were you working for the mob?
No.
Because it sounds like a mob
Everybody
job.
knows the corporations are really the mob anyway.
We're not getting into that discussion. But he's just like, yeah, I deliver things between places. Someone gives me some stuff and I deliver it and I don't ask no questions.
I took a few bullets here and there, but
yeah,
you know.
Exactly, because it also sounds like the kind of job where you would get bumped off for the payroll.
No,
it's like
I rarely
like the
ever,
modern day.
Okay.
You were like the Pony Express.
Had anything of value.
Okay, so you were making money, but you had a baby coming. All that money was about to disappear anyway.
Nope, it was still good even after that.
Okay, so you are. Okay. Oh wow, I see the connection. You're a delivery guy, and your wife's about to deliver a baby. That's very artistic.
Like one of my videos.
Stop bringing up YouTube videos on a podcast.
Okay, we'll cut this part out then.
No, I'm gonna leave it in.
So I had driven all the way to the Boston area from central Massachusetts, about 50 miles away.
This is like an epic adventure.
It is an epic adventure.
Frodo of the 9 fingers and the courier delivery of doom.
Okay, so I
feel like I don't know what that reference is.
I do. I'm just trying to skip on to the story.
Oh, okay.
Well, fuck you. I mean, it's not like you're supposed to stop me or anything. So I'm in Boston at this point. It's putting together my slips, making sure that they're in order.
You were wearing a slip?
Slips as in the envelopes that I was going to deliver.
It was a relatively obvious joke. You didn't need to explain it. I implied you were wearing women's underwear.
Dude, I wore a slip anyway. It doesn't matter.
Oh, that's hot.
Yeah, I know. White lace. I had to duct tape my balls, though. That's the thing.
Yeah, but you probably enjoyed it.
No.
It's like it beats shaving.
So I'm there setting up my slips for the route. So she is horribly pregnant, and I mean that the way it sounds.
Is that a medical diagnosis? The doctor's like, you're horribly pregnant.
My ex had gone through hell to have this particular child. We had tried many times to have a kid. See, I don't know if I had explained this before in any of the podcasts. My son is not my biological son. I met her when
You
he
did.
was
In the last podcast, you mentioned that he is adopted.
Well, yes. Okay, so we wanted to have a kid of our own, and we tried multiple times to have a kid, and she kept having ectopic pregnancies. And if anyone doesn't know what that is, it's when the egg itself it gets inseminated inside of the fallopian tube. It's very painful.
Isn't that when it attaches to the inside of the fallopian tube?
Yep, and it's inseminated, and it descends right there, stops, and blocks everything, and gets fucked up and begins to divide in there and then dies.
The baby grows in the wrong place.
It's gross. Okay.
It's grody.
So
reproduction is sick and wrong.
With this particular pregnancy, they originally thought that it was ectopic because she was in so much pain. So we went to the hospital. This was way months back, and in the emergency room, they did an X-ray, not an X-ray, ultrasound. Thought it was ectopic, and they went in to surgically remove it. And discovered that it was not ectopic. The baby was fine. So so now we have anesthetized a pregnant woman.
Oh, is that bad?
Yes, it's no good. The anesthesia is no good for the infant before 8 months, I believe. So at this point, we've anesthetized a pregnant woman. She's having a terrible pregnancy. We don't know whether or not.
You keep saying we. Were you helping anesthetize her? You're like, give her ether. Maybe that'll put her out.
I did. I hit her. I said, I got a hammer. Hold on.
That's bad for her, but good for the baby.
We've gone through this entire pregnancy. She's horribly sick through the entire thing. She's not feeling well. I guess this is like the last baby she's meant to carry.
Okay. So you guys have tried really hard, but the eggs kept being retarded and implanting in the wrong place. And then you gave her drugs. Got it.
So,
and that's bad for the bad for the baby.
Yeah.
Drugs bad for the baby. That's why I think all anestheticians need to have autism.
It's
definitely bad for the baby.
Bad for the baby.
bad for the baby. Bad.
Okay, so I'm in Boston.
Oh, you're Mr. Courier.
Yes,
hold
I'm
it.
Mr. Courier.
The phone's ringing. Just a second. This is why when I get the edit length, I can never tell how long the episodes are going to be.
All right.
Okay, go for it. You're a delivery man.
So I punched my grandma repeatedly. And she liked it. It was weird.
He's like, give me more, Sonny. Punch me in the cooch.
Oh.
Punch it hard. Put on this ring. I'm going to call you Danny.
I can't remember my
That's Grandpa's name. Yeah, Danny, punch me hard. Punch the babies out of me. What is going on?
I get a sudden phone call.
Okay.
She knows not to call me at work, but I mean, obviously she's pregnant, so I'm gonna answer the fucking phone. I haven't even left the bay with my stuff, and so I threw the stuff down, and I answer the phone, and she says, my water broke. And it's a month early.
You're like, how do you break water? I thought it was relatively unbreakable.
Yeah. So I told my boss, I gotta go. She's having the baby. He's like, oh, get the fuck out of here.
I'm sorry, but my water broke just sounds like someone with special needs would say that. My water broke. Fix it. Fix my water, please.
She says, I told her to call an ambulance to bring her to the hospital or whatever.
You told her, I can't be bothered. I'm taking deliveries, goddammit.
I'm not. All right, I forgot you're supposed to.
Big Fish Tony's going to break my legs if I don't make this delivery.
I told her to because I'm not going to be able to get there in time to bring her to the hospital. So
how far away is she? She's like miles.
15. From central Massachusetts, Boston's about 50 miles.
Okay.
So I say. She drives her fucking self, rather. She's like, I'm fine, fuck it, and drives herself to the hospital. They bring her in, and I'm on the phone constantly telling her, hey, it's time.
No, did you immediately leave work?
I did. I told my boss, I'm like, I gotta go. She's having the baby. They're like, all right, get out, go.
Did he say, we wish you many returns on the birth of this joyous child, and may your first child be a masculine. Wait,
I love that you have now turned me into some sort of like delivery boy for the mafia.
My world is a much more fun world to live in.
It's a dark, dark place, and I can tell.
So they send you on your way, and you're racing.
I am racing down the Mass Pike, and if you don't know, at 7 o'clock in the morning, the Mass Pike is a fucking parking lot. Well, anyway, I immediately hit the parking lot and was squeezing in and out of traffic for about an hour while on the phone with her, asking me where I am, why the fuck I'm not there,
Right.
and I got pulled over.
Ooh, by who?
Was
it a car full of clowns?
A state trooper.
Oh, were you speeding?
I went into the breakdown lane to get around some people.
Did you have like a gun out the window going, get the fuck out of my way, my baby's coming, blang, blang, blang.
He pulled me over, and I was nervous as fuck that he was going to like, whatever state troopers say. And
they always turn into pirates? Yarr, you have any idea how fast you're going, lad? You were 4 sails to the wind.
He comes to the door, and he comes to the window, and I am on the phone, and I'm like, officer, I know you're gonna.
You're violating 2 laws at one time.
No, in Massachusetts you can talk on the phone. You can't text.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's great.
So he comes up. Is he a good-looking guy? Is he one of them fat cops with the mustache? Is he like?
He was a burly guy, but he was like your age.
Wait, this is Boston, so he must have been Irish. Excuse me, sir. Do you know how fast you're going?
He knocks on the window. I roll it down. I have my license.
He takes the briar pipe out of his mouth.
Jesus Christ! I have
I
have my license. I think his name was O'Leary. Now that I think about it. No, we weren't in Boston at that point. We were closer to Natick area.
Oh, Natick, okay.
Well, he gets out. He comes up to the window. I'm on the phone. I have my license and registration ready for him at the window. I'm like, sir, I know that you're about to give me shit for going down the breakdown lane, but my baby is being born. And he's like, I hear that all the time. Just let me do my work, and then I will send you on your way. He goes back to his car in what seems like a fucking infinite amount of time. He comes back and he goes, all right, I gave you a warning. Get the fuck out of here. Congrats. And he waves me away.
Aww.
Yeah, he was a sweetheart, motherfucking. You don't know, Mass.
Yeah, after playing with you for a little while.
Mm.
You know what really happened? He's like, he got a call over his radio. That's Big Fish Tony's delivery boy. You better fucking let him go and see his kid.
Oh, that guy? Oh, fuck. No, don't touch him. He will shoot you in the face.
He will shoot you in the face.
And nothing will happen to him afterwards. Do you understand? No trial, nothing. He will be let go in front of your children. And he will smile at them and pee on their faces.
I told you my world was more fun. Anyway, so he lets you go. He's terrified. He pulls over to the side of the road and weeps.
All right, I get back in, and I decided to take a different route. Instead of being on the Mass Pike, I took like 135 back down through Ashland and she was at Milford Hospital. Which is a really, really beautiful facility. It's a very nice. It's part of the UMass facilities, but it's
clean, no rats.
Yes, and
no old people left in the hallways to fend for themselves in wheelchairs.
Snot all over their faces and throwing poop and saying, "Clean me again. I remember you." And the monkey's throwing feces. Come on. Anyway.
It's so nice to know that it's a nice, clean hospital and not some junky town Vietnam backwater.
Lots of extra parking space.
Okay.
So we go upstairs.
How long did it take you to get there?
It took me about an hour and a half.
Okay, and she was still plugged up with kid when you got there. She hadn't dropped.
Yes, I got onto the baby ward, and they immediately brought me into her room, and she had a monitor on. It's like these 2 little bulbs that they put on their belly to listen to the baby's heart rate and the mother's at the same time. I go, what's going on? What are we doing? And she looks at me and she goes, oh, my water didn't break. I was spotting with some sort of discharge. And I'm like,
ew. Oh, discharge is the worst word ever.
I was like, you got to be kidding me. Are you okay? First I asked, is she okay? All these types of things. And she's like, they don't know what they're going to do right now. My blood pressure is about 180/100.
Well, that's high.
That's really high, especially
I've had
for a
higher.
pregnant woman. Well, for a pregnant woman, that's insanely high. It's no good.
Okay. All right.
So I'm sitting around waiting for hours for them to tell me that they come and they're like, well, we can't just take the baby out early. It's no good. We can't do that. And the nurses, I have to say, a few of them were really cool, but one of them was an absolute cunt. She is a major part of the story later on.
Okay, but fair warning, she's a cunt.
Fair warning, this woman's a cunt.
Okay, was she called Nurse Cunt?
Yes, we'll call her Nursey Cunt.
What made her so bad?
You will hear.
I want to know now.
No, you can't know now.
I'm not good with patience.
I'll put you to bed with no story, you son of a bitch.
Oh, come on, goddammit, Dad.
Joey will punch you in the face.
Don't make me call Big Fish Tony. I understand that you will not go to bed.
You want me to punch you in the face?
This is a bad thing for two reasons. Number one, you're
you
disobeying your parents.
Punch a kid? I will punch a kid. I will fucking punch you. I punch my own kids. All right. So they're doing this baby monitor thing for a while. They come back. Mm-hmm. They tell us our blood pressure is now 220 over.
Hokey smokes!
220 over something. It peaked there and then went back down. They're like, okay, you need to have this baby out of you now.
So they changed their mind. They're like, oh, crap.
They came back. They're like, oh, well, this woman's gonna die. So
yeah,
I
much
guess
higher. The blood's just gonna start popping out of her skin.
Oh, she looked like. Dana looked like shit. She absolutely looked like shit. Her eyes were red and bulging, and she was just like, I want the things that she was saying were.
Oh, thank God, because I thought I was the only person that had shits that had red bulging eyes. Okay, so they're like, oh fuck.
All right, so
she doesn't have this baby.
Yes. Okay. The things that she was saying to them were, I want this baby out of me. I cannot handle this right now. I am so sick. I am so tired. I want the baby in my arms and out of me now. Okay. Mm-hmm. So remember that for later on, because it's kind of important, especially pertaining to cunty nurse.
Well, you know me, I remember things that you say perfectly.
Well, everybody else is
ignoring the fact that I changed your employers to mobsters at this point. All right, so she wants the baby out. The doctors are like, if we don't take it out, her blood is going to launch it out of her body.
Yeah. So they prep her and take her away, and they hand me the paper uniform of the daddy. Okay.
Does it say daddy on it?
Yeah, it says daddy, and you have to wear these little booties that cover
like
up
a lobster bib that has a baby on it.
And they give me a mask and all the cute stuff, and I'm excited. You want to know why? One of my favorite things to do when I was young and friendless was watch those surgeries they used to have on TV.
And you're wondering why Friendless entered into it? You're like, hey guys, you want to come back home? There's going to be a knee operation surgery. They're going to use a thing to gouge out a new... I was just
thinking about the knee operation that I watched on TV. You probably watched the thing. It was on the Learning Channel when it was brand new.
Yes, it was horrible.
Oh,
it was one of those things where you're like,
stuff.
oh, bodies don't move like that.
Yes, they do, with a hammer and chisel, too.
And every kid you ask that, they're like, are you going to cut me? Are you going to cut me?
They're doing her by cesarean.
Okay, that's what was going to be my next question, because generally they don't wheel you off for a procedure if it's just natural childbirth.
They get her all ready, and I'm texting everybody, baby coming, baby get yay! Baby, I love the baby. I love the baby.
You omitted the high blood pressure and everyone panicking part, though.
Well, yeah, but nobody could come anyway, so it didn't. I did tell people that, but nobody but me could be in there or around for a while anyway.
Okay, so it was you were going to be in the surgery room, and you were like sticking your nose right up where the scalpel was.
No. Okay,
You're like, yeah, cut her.
The way that the room was set up, they had a tent in between her boobs and her belly.
Like a circus tent?
So that she could not...
circus music playing?
So that she could... So that she could not see what was going on, and I was sitting behind her holding her hand.
She has to be conscious. They don't knock you out.
Yeah, they gave her a spinal.
Mm-hmm.
And I was thinking, this is the coolest thing in the world. I get to see a surgery very close up because the stool I was sitting on was high enough so I could peek over.
You turned this from being a about your wife into being about you. It's like, thank you, God, for giving me this gift this day.
You know, I think I did say that at that point, too. No, I was torn.
Now, if only some dude would come in and blow me while I'm watching this, it would be perfect.
You. So yeah, I'm torn between.
You know, that first-year resident is looking pretty good in those blue scrubs.
Holding my beautiful wife's hand.
Okay.
And watching this awesome butchering of her belly to take a baby out.
Awesome butchering. Did you turn to her and go, "It's so fucking awesome. I can see subcutaneous fat layers."
Yes.
Like, don't look at my fat layers.
I don't have any fat layers.
Okay, so you're watching this woman get cut open, and you're like,
Okay, so they brought in two very, very talented OBG surgeons, both female surgeons. I won't say their names, but they were very cool people. One was her regular OB, and the other one was the person who also delivered my son.
Oh, okay.
So she came in. She's hello, hi, good. You got baby coming? Yes, obviously. I'm going to cut you open and take it out. And what they needed both of them for was one to take the baby out, and the other to do the tube tying, because they didn't want her having any. And she agreed to it.
That was it. No more kids. You're done.
No more kids because you've had so many ectopic pregnancies.
So long as they're under the hood, they may as well take care of a few things.
Yes. That makes it sound so much better.
She's like, look, so long as we're in there, we may as well, tie your tubes. We're just saving you a trip so you don't have to come back.
Can we have one of these kidneys while we're in here?
You're going to have your tires rotated. And
guess who's going to deliver it to the kidney shop tomorrow? Joey. Joey, who works for Addie.
So they're just doing a twofer, or they're just like, we're doing all this?
They're doing all of this. Okay.
So you're getting a bonus surgery.
Well, I mean, I got to say, I was looking at it from above and over the circus tent, so I could only see certain things. Yeah. I could see that they were using a heated scalpel that was cauterizing as it was cutting.
Oh, so it was like she was being sliced open with a lightsaber, like Han Solo did to a tauntaun.
I could see steam, not steam, but cauterized flesh going into the air.
Oh my God.
And I could smell it. Smelled like burning hair.
Well, yeah, human flesh does not smell good when it burns. Wait, you mean smoke?
Smoke. What is smoke?
Flesh floating through the air sounds like you went to hell. It sounds like how is flesh floating around?
Yeah, it's like that scene in Jacob's Ladder.
Oh, God. That is not a pleasant scene.
You think you're alive? You're not alive.
Oh my God. And you're giddy. You're like hopping down on. This is like Christmas for you.
Well, you know what? I in case people don't know, I do want to be a physician.
Yeah, for sick reasons. You're like, oh, doctor,
because blood doesn't bother me.
I might have caught the flu. We need to cut you open right now.
We got to cut that flu out of you. Yes, it's a big giant thing. I'm telling you, it's the truth. Everyone else is lying. It's like a grapefruit in your stomach. We got to cut it out.
I don't understand. I had a headache, but he gave me a Y incision. I don't get it.
That's called an autopsy, sir.
Oh, I'm supposed to be dead now?
Yeah, okay.
Just lay back down on the table, sir.
So they're cutting into her, and they pop the amniotic sac and all.
Oh, that must have. Ugh.
I heard a like that, and then they take my daughter out and they hold her up, and I can see her, and then they give her a good butt spank.
Do they still do that?
They still do that, or they pinch them. They pinch them, or they spank the butt.
I thought they cleared the airway with one of those little onion bulb things.
They do that too, but this one of them was old school, so she spanked.
Oh, okay. And she just liked the spanking part.
I heard my daughter cry. I'll never forget it. It was cute. And then my wife looks up and goes, "Is that her? Is that her?" I'm like, "What else?" I'm thinking to myself, "What else would it be?"
No, it's baby just broke into the room,
and I'm afraid to tell you. It's just a mass of flesh.
It's like the scene from The Fly.
Yeah. So they take the baby, they take her away, and they clean her up, and I'm watching as they use these two sort of tongs to pull out the amniotic sac and all the stuff inside of her, and
the
ravel it up, and they give me the pan so we can fry this. And hey, there are people who eat the amniotic sac.
Don't remind me. Okay.
I wanted to do it. Num 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 num.
No, you had already been blessed with 2 surgeries and a birth of a child.
Yes, and so they're dumping this gunk out into the thing, and they're cleaning up my daughter off to the left, and they say, "Sir, would you like to come over?" So I get up, and as I come over, I can see from the front the inside of my wife's body.
Oh, happy birthday to you!
Sick and horrifying and awesome thing I had ever seen. It just looked like stuff.
Where does this come from for you?
Like some intelligent designer just said, "Here, we'll throw all this stuff in here. This is important."
It does look very much like, let's just cram it in and sew it up and let's be done with it. So okay, now I gotta ask, were you more reeling from the fact that you saw inside of a living person, or that you were about to hold your baby?
You know what? I was torn.
Oh my God.
But I walked over to my child instead because she was crying. Yeah, that's how human emotion works. And
if you thought the body cavity was like, "Oh, come to me,"
it was Satan. Come to me.
Discover the pleasures of the flesh.
It's like those guys who fuck cow hearts.
Okay, number one, you said that like it's common knowledge. Like it's just like first grade. Okay,
no, if you can buy a cow heart that has been recently removed from a body and attach 12-volt battery to it, it will begin to pump. And there are people who actually buy them so they can pump while having sex with it.
Good night, everybody.
Cut that part out.
Holy no, that's staying in. That is amazing to me. You're like, because you just said it's okay. It's like those guys who fuck cow hearts. Like, oh yeah, I remember watching that on Laverne and Shirley. Remember that episode where Squiggy and Lenny bought a cow heart?
I think that Lucy.
Hello, show. We're about to fuck a cow heart.
Lucy, you got some explaining to do.
Ricky, I bought it for your anniversary. Wah.
They have that little sort of like. Okay, so I'm looking at this lamp that's above my daughter. They have two PAs there two doctors that are doing their residency.
Yeah.
Just standing there to watch and assist if need be, but mostly they're just watching. And they're doing these little tests on her. They touch her hand and she grabs, and they turn on the light and her eyes shut. And then they pinch her and she's reactive. And
then they hold up a mirror to make sure she's not a vampire baby.
Yes. Well, shit. That's why they did that?
Yeah, that's why they do that.
No.
You realize?
So they have her under this lamp, and it is so warm under the lamp and I'm like, and
she's a tiny baby.
She was the most cutest thing. But she wasn't supposed to have her eyes all the way open because babies don't do that or if they're born early, but she did. She had her eyes wide open, and they were big and giant blue. Mm-hmm. And she obviously they can't focus on anything. I said she looked at me. She fucking looked at me no matter what you said.
It to my soul and said, "I know what you're thinking about cow hearts."
And they clean off all the blood and the gunk and that white stuff, and they put a little diaper on her, and I said, "Wow, it's like she's a little hamburger."
Oh my God.
Because underneath that, it felt like you've worked at a restaurant before, right?
Yeah, I used to diaper my hamburgers all the time.
No, because of the heat of the lamp. I said it's like one of those hamburger warmers, and the two doctors look at me and they go. Yeah.
Yes, sir. And anyone yummy?
They're like, "Who's this fucking clown?" And I went, "Can I pick her up?" And they're like,
"You know why the lamp was on was because they didn't want her to catch cold."
Yeah, they didn't want her to be cold. I understood that, but I was making a joke because that's the
her blanket used to be your wife, and now she's out exposed to air, and so they need like a heat lamp. She's like a little lizard. She's like a little lizard hamburger, and you're.
And I'm making jokes because that's the type of person that I am.
Yeah, okay, but these first year these guys are just like, "Oh yeah, sure, hamburger, whatever you say."
And I was like, "Fuck you, give me my baby." I got a black market sale to make.
And then you ran out of the room with the baby in one arm and a bottle of ketchup in your hand.
Oh no, that facility is a locked ward. You cannot walk out with a child, not
Okay.
unless they know it's yours. And by the way, she looked exactly like me, so there's no way they couldn't tell. And I'm hot, just in case everyone doesn't know that.
Oh God.
I've been told by Jason that I'm hot. So that must mean that I'm super hot.
Everyone listening to the podcast, he's super hot, even straight men from California. And we see super hot guys all the time, tan ones even. And I'll tell you right now, he's super hot.
Oh,
You happy?
I'm not really that conceited, Jesus.
Yeah, you just need me to say that.
Well, I'm gonna go fap later. Well, I gotta have a fantasy, Jesus.
Okay, so you compared your newborn baby to food.
They wrap her up in a blankie, and they
Wrap
put a
her-
little cap on her teeny little head.
Oh, and
They
she's
hand her to
looking
me,
around.
and she's looking around, and I sat there, and again I was torn between this beautiful, beautiful little child and watching an amazing surgery. So I got to look back and forth as they ripped out my wife's guts and stapled her shut.
Oh my God.
They brought out a staple.
Meanwhile, your wife is waiting to hold her child.
She can't hold her because her
Oh
arm,
wait. Oh yeah.
she can't. She's laying down, so she's looking at her. I'm holding her little face. I'm like, here. I lean over and I say, and see her pretty little face. And I'm looking over the circus tent, going, holy shit, those are your ovaries. And
Oh.
all right, so they say you can take her back to the room now. We're gonna get the epidural out of her spine and get her. You don't have to be here for that. You shouldn't. I guess maybe I shouldn't.
What? Take the epidural out of her spine?
Yeah, just go. That's the way that works, right?
You start doing things. You're like, we should get rid of that appendix, shouldn't we? You could blow it any minute, right?
So we bring her. I bring her to the room. They're showing me how to do bottles and all that kind of stuff and feed and all that crap. And they bring her back. Thing is, my daughter starts making this noise. Like that. So they're saying she has trouble breathing on her own. So they wheel my wife back to be with the baby and all that junk and jive and paperwork and a bunch of feedings within 6 hours because an infant that is between 3 and 1 month early needs to be fed every hour, not every 2 hours like a regular newborn. And here is Mrs. Cunty McCunterson.
Okay, I was waiting for her.
She is the one who is to tend to a child that is early in newborn and do all his heart tests and everything. And she's the one that is talented at this. And I won't say she's a bad nurse, but she's a fucking cunt. She's listening to my ex and I have these conversations because she used to walk in, check on the baby, and I'm like, I'm so glad that this is over. The conversation is me and my ex are glad that our infant has been born, but it makes it sound like, oh, I'm so glad this is fucking over. Who cares about this shit?
And oh yeah, she looks like a hamburger.
My ex started having postpartum problems, so then she had to be there. She had to be there for a few days with the baby while we waited for this thing for them to say that we could finally take her home because she might need assisted surgery or whatever. Oh yes, I'm sorry.
For observation.
Her first few feedings were not bottle feedings; they were through the nose.
Oh yeah.
They had to stick a tube down her nose into her stomach and hold up a bottle, and she was showing me how to do that. So Cunty McCunterson is listening to these conversations that are completely out of context, where my ex and I are, talking about how we're so ready to just take her home, and my ex is saying how sad she feels, and she doesn't know how depressed she's going to be, and all this stuff, and I'm saying I'll take time off of work, all this kind of stuff. They send my ex home, and the baby has to stay there.
So your ex-wife can go home, but the baby stays at the hospital.
During that time, Cunty McCunterson decided to file what's known as a 51A.
What's a 51A?
It is a injunction to state that one of the parents is not fit to take care of the baby.
Based on what?
Based on out-of-context conversations.
Oh, okay. So
I don't. But this is one of those time warp things. This is one of those time warp things. We don't know that this is what's happening. The morning that we're supposed to go and pick her up, Dana is not supposed to be driving. She has just had major surgery. Her stomach has been cut open, and she said she insists on driving. She needs to get up around her feet, do something. And I'm like, bah, if you feel okay. Okay.
Good.
We got there fine, but Cunty McCunterson saw her getting out of the driver's seat. So we go upstairs, and we go in. They let us in. They can't keep us from the baby, but they can't, because of the injunction, they can't.
And you still don't know anything's going on. They're just like, here's your...
We walk in, I go take a piss, and the nurse comes in, and Cunty says, well, I have filed a 51A against you, miss. And Dana apparently knew exactly what that was, and she said, why? What's going on? I'm like, fuck you. What is your problem?
Mm-hmm.
She said, I saw you driving. You have made numerous statements in the past few days that have shown me that you may be suffering from postpartum and PTSD or
Now, wait a
something
minute.
else.
This woman is a nurse, right?
Mm-hmm.
Has your wife been evaluated by anybody?
No.
Like a doctor or a psychologist or
But
a psychiatrist
apparently, okay, we didn't realize it till later on, but she could not legally do what she did.
Oh, so she's a power mad bitch.
Exactly.
Okay, got it. I hate her.
She said you are not allowed to take the infant home, which she can do. She can decide that on the spot.
Okay.
Firstly, she's not healthy enough to come home, and your ex is not healthy enough. And I said, I'm healthy enough. I'll take her home. She said, not with her in the house. And I said, I'm calling my lawyer, which I did. I called our family lawyer, and I spoke to him, and he said, unfortunately, she is well within her rights to keep you from bringing the baby home. However, the 51A I don't know about. All you need to do is get a psych eval for your...
He's like, I handle tax issues. Why are you calling me about a baby?
I was waiting for funny at some point. This isn't funny. But it's still an interesting story, so I hope everybody's enjoying it.
Will you let them be the arbiters of funny for once? They might find this hilarious. Like, they're not letting him keep his baby.
And she can't make us leave legally, and I was on the phone listening to him on the phone in front of her so that she could hear. She cannot...
You should have hung up the phone and said, he says I can punch you in the cunt.
So she heard him say that, and she just went, fine, I'm going to go get the physician on call.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because she was actually trying to make us leave, and the physician on call happened to be the person who had done the surgery the day before.
Right.
She said, unfortunately, I can't usurp what she's done, but yes, you're right, you don't have to leave.
Mm-hmm.
But your wife does.
What?
Because it is a baby ward. You can't have a person whom is deemed mentally ill by whatever capacity this fucktard thought she had be on the ward with other mothers and all this.
Greatest healthcare system in the world, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I know.
In the world.
But she looked at me and she said, however, you can stay, and you can stay here all night, and we will bring you meals, and we will do everything that we would do for a mother, a brand new mother.
Aww.
And I said, I am doing that shit, and Dana was crying and consoling her, getting this stuff together. Mm-hmm. You go home, go to your mom, and, our lawyer is going to call you, do all this stuff, and you should have seen Cunty's face from the hallway finding out that this guy was going to be here. This guy, this man. All right, well, what I see in the hallway is... I see two security guards, and Cunty is talking to them, and the physician on call walks over to her, and she says, he's staying, and and what I see her face do is that eye pop, and and she's pointing at the security guards.
Dared to, because this is all just...
Yeah, how dare a physician that has more power than her tell her to go fuck herself?
She is obviously high on the amount of power she has in this little tiny fiefdom that she has set up, and how dare anyone remind her that she's not as powerful as she thinks she is.
So my car has to be left there, or my ex-mother-in-law comes and picks her up. I am there for 3 nights with my infant
with your baby
daughter. I am the first person who changed her diaper. I am the first person to give her all these nights feedings.
Aww. You were the first person to call her a hamburger?
The whole time, Cunty is storming around, and obviously it's a different nurse dealing with our situation at this point. So the physician on call and the other OBG came in. They were talking to me quite a bit, and they're like, "This will blow over. She'll get a psych eval. She'll come in, and you guys will get to walk off triumphantly with this beautiful little darling."
Yes, this delicious,
everybody
charbroiled hamburger.
Yeah, no, they called her a beautiful little darling because she had white, wispy hair that stuck straight up in every direction. It was the cutest thing.
You just described a troll doll, but okay, I'll ignore that.
But with a real baby face.
Aww. Okay, so that's what they told you. They said, your wife will be evaluated. You guys will get out of here. Yeah. You'll come back with an AK and destroy the Cunty McCunterson, and everything will be fine.
So third day, they're doing that. You know how they put them in that thing that sort of floats them back and forth inside of the car seat to see whether or not their heart will stop. I don't know if you know what that's called.
I've never heard of that. Okay. That is terrifying.
For a newborn, what they do is they take your car seat and they put the newborn in it, and it shakes them back and forth a little bit, gyrates them a little to see whether or not.
Oh, you mean it does the thing that doctors tell you never to do with a baby, which is shake it?
No, it's sort of like an agitator. It just goes zzz, and then they see if the heart rate drops, and if it does, then they stop it, and you still can't take the kid home. Oh, guess who is doing this test?
Oh, let me see. Does her name start with a C?
Yes. See you next Tuesday. And I walk in and I hand her the baby and I'm pretending everything's okay. And she got to do this and she's just like, I just wanted to make sure if your wife's okay. And I'm like, you've put us through hell. And she does the test and she sort of like jerkily hands me the carriage. And I'm like, you better watch it. That's an infant and you work on this ward. You better.
You should have stuck her head in the shaky machine.
She passes. So my ex passes the psych evaluation that same day. They'll expedite it very quickly. Yeah. We have the papers. We bring the paperwork and the stuff, and Cunty is behind the nurse's station. And the doctor who had brought my daughter into this world was congratulating us and handing us a balloon and all this kind of stuff. And
you're like, "Where's her baby? This is a balloon, not a baby."
Oh, I had my baby in my hand.
Okay.
I had my baby in my hand. Not one hand, because that would be.
I was gonna say, were you holding it like a dead rat?
No, in the carry-all. As we're handing all this stuff that says Cunty's power has been usurped, awesomely and triumphantly, I'm smiling. Dana's smiling like heaven. And we walk into the elevator, and I remember it. You know, like the Terminator scene where the liquid Terminator comes running at the elevator, and it starts to shut.
If a Terminator stops you and says,
"But instead,
please let it be a Terminator."
Instead, the door is shutting, and all I see is Cunty's little face going, "Me." It was like driving that noise, like me.
Okay, that's it. Did Atticus succeed? Or did I succeed? Yeah, no, probably not. But if he did, congratulations, Daddy. If I did, I am once again triumphant. I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in and listening to another story, and please be sure to do whatever it is that you do on SoundCloud to follow us. I think it's called Follow Us on SoundCloud. If you want more stories about Atticus being gay, or his obsession with internal organs, or whatever, let us know. Maybe we'll tailor more stories.
That time I fucked a cow heart.
The time you fucked a cow heart. If you want to know about more internal organs from other animals that you can electrify and put your penis in, leave us those messages as well. Thank you guys, and until next time, this has been Jason Harding.
And I am Atticus Blake, and I am a happy father.
Until next time, guys.